Are you an ambitious individual? You feel stuck and you just don't know how to get unstuck in your life? Well, in this video, I'm going to give you the approaches that I personally took to get unstuck, take action when I really did not want to take action, and start creating the ideal version of myself. I am Dr. Karthik Ramanan, and on this channel, I get raw and real with you to help you end self-criticism and give you the tips and strategies to create optimal everyday mental health. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. Now, before I go any further, I am going to save the questions for the end. As you can see, we are live, and we'll just jump right into it, shall we? Before I get into the strategies, I want to paint a picture of where I was at. I want to let you know also that I have been stuck in multiple times of my life, and using some of these tips are really what helped me create momentum to move forward. So I want to rewind to, I was 27, and I was in a state that I was feeling stuck in three major phases of my life. One, in my health. I was 250 pounds and feeling like there's no amount of diet or exercise that I could do at this point to prevent the plateauing that was happening. And I was just at that place where I was about to give up and say, I'm just going to be obese for the rest of my life. The second aspect was that also because of that, my confidence was extremely low and dating was not going very well. And I was starting to worry that I just might be single for the rest of my life. And the loneliness was extremely excruciating. And the only thing that had really kind of carried me throughout that phase of my life was my professional life. I had done well at my job, but I had gotten to the point that I'd just gotten promoted, and I started realizing if I'm going to go any further here, I'm going to have to start, maybe playing politics or things that I just didn't want to do, and starting to realize that I would probably end up, if I was continuing this course, I'd probably end up a lifer at the company, or certainly a lifer in the industry. And it was an industry that wasn't really fulfilling to me. And just the idea that, okay, my health, my romantic life, and my professional life were all heading in a direction that I wasn't proud of, that I didn't want, really got me to start to take action. And before I go into the three tips, I want you to remember one thing. Our best ideas got us here. If we take the same strategies to get unstuck, the same strategies that got us stuck in the first place, if we're going to use that to get unstuck, it's not going to work. Your best ideas got you here. So if you're not happy with where you are right now, why are you doing the same things? Because if you're watching this video, I'm just going to assume that you're stuck, right? It's kind of the title, right? And I know it might sound harsh and it might sound obvious, but the truth is, as humans, we resort to the tools that we know best, the things that we're most comfortable with. But the problem is sometimes the things that we're most comfortable with lead us eventually down a path that we're not happy with. And then we start doing the same things again, trying to get out of it. So what I'm going to do with these tips is to help you try different things without it being so uncomfortable, without it being so scary. So the first thing, really simple, do something that makes you feel alive, makes you feel like you. We spend too much time in our day-to-day life looking around and thinking about what other people think of us, and that influences how we think, how we act, how we feel, and it's just not a healthy way to live. It's not a healthy way to create, certainly mental health. It's not a healthy way to create physical health. It's not a healthy way to create relationships, and go down the line. You have to own who you are. And the easiest way to do that is, if you want to do it when nobody's looking, that's fine too. But find something that really just makes you feel good, right? And oftentimes when we're in our heads and self-critical, we won't do the things that make us feel good. You know what it is for me? Singing. I tell you what, if I wasn't a doctor, if I wasn't doing this YouTube thing, I would love to be a rock star. I mean, seriously, that would be the coolest. I would love that more than anything. It wasn't going to happen. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that I can't drive in the car, turn on Metallica, and start singing, right? I turn on Disturbed and just start rocking out. Like, for me, that's what makes me feel really just powerful and alive. I don't know what it is for you. Maybe it's dancing, right? Maybe it's going out into nature. Maybe it's having a conversation with people that are really close to you, just really deep heart-to-heart conversations. Whatever it is that makes you feel the most alive, that makes you feel the most like yourself, independent of what anyone else is saying or thinking, do that. Do more of that, because the more you start to feel like yourself again, the more you're going to be able to take the actions that are going to, be uncomfortable at first. Number 2, visualize yourself doing something that currently makes you feel uncomfortable. Visualize doing something that currently makes yourself feel uncomfortable. So a few years ago, my sister was like, "Hey bro, you want to go hang gliding?" I'm like, what, hang gliding? Are you kidding? In Arizona? You think I want to be 2,500 feet up in the sky over desert, like over nothing? 2,500 feet? I don't want to fall to my death, right? Or even if we crash land, we're like miles away from the nearest hospital or anything. That doesn't sound like fun. Are you kidding me? That was what was going on in my head because, it's safety. And I thought about it. It's like, man, that would be kind of cool if I did. And I was really in this place of I really have to step out of my comfort zone if I'm going to grow. So what I did was I spent some time, we booked the date, right? But I spent some time before that hang gliding adventure to say, all right, I'm just going to visualize what it's like to, drive up there, what it's like to get strapped in, right? And take off with the wind and just visualizing it going well, right? And what's it going to be like up in the sky when I'm flying like a bird and just seeing the earth around me, the horizon down below. We're over the beautiful desert where there's just no people, no nothing, the quiet up there. How amazing would it be to be up there if I could just get over my fear? I visualized what it was like to start to land that hang glider. And by the way, it was a tandem. It's not like I'm even flying this thing. I'm just along for the ride. And visualizing that landing, going securely, going safely. And the feeling that I was going to have after this hang gliding flight of, wow, I did something badass. That is something I would have never done before. That's an incredible feeling, and I want you to have that. When you feel that you have done something that you didn't think you could do, it's an outstanding feeling, and it's kind of addictive once you get into it. So visualize yourself doing something that currently makes you feel uncomfortable so that when you actually do it, you're not going to be nearly as uncomfortable, because the day that I went for that hang gliding trip, no fear at all. Zero. It's like I had played it out in my mind and it was not an issue whatsoever. And I want you to also visualize, number 3. This is the real clincher here, especially if those first 2 don't work for you. Visualize what would happen if you continue the way you are. Visualize what would happen if you continue life the way you're currently living it. Think about it. Take a moment right now. Think about it. Close your eyes. What would your life look like in a year if you just continued doing the things the way you are now? How many times in your life have you had that feeling that, my goodness, a year ago versus now, I don't feel like I've progressed at all? You want that to happen again? What would happen in 5 years from now if you continue? What is it going to cost you? Close your eyes. Really think about it. What is it going to cost you to continue living the way that you are right now? What about 10 years? What about 25 years from now? You want to know what scares me the most in anything in life? I am scared of growing old and looking back on my life and regretting, maybe I should have. Maybe I shouldn't have listened to everybody else, when all they were really doing is worried about what I was thinking of them. What if I had just put my life in my own hands? I don't want that to happen to me. I don't want it to happen to you either. Really visualize what it would be like and write that down. I want you to see it. I want you to feel it. Because the bottom line is this. We are critters on this earth. We are nature, right? And what happens in nature? What do living beings in nature do? everything from the smallest bacteria up to us, we do what is necessary. We do what is necessary to survive, and often no more than that. What is necessary to survive? So the bottom line is this: if you are not changing, it's because it's not necessary. That's the tough reality here. If you are not changing, it's because it doesn't hurt enough. It doesn't hurt enough. And I don't want it to get to the point that it actually hurts enough. You see it in our society, right? We have to wait till some tragedy happens before we actually do something about it because it doesn't hurt enough right now. Why does it have to hurt, get to that point in your life? It doesn't have to. So, one way that you can fool your mind really into making it hurt enough is to visualize that future of what would happen if you just continued living the way you do, living in this stuck that you're in right now. It's going to hurt. I promise you that's going to hurt to think about where you would be. What kind of regret would you have after 25, 30, 40 years? And then close your eyes and visualize what your life could be if you do take action. If you do try that thing that made you scared. If you do talk to that person that you kind of liked, but you weren't sure. What if you took a chance? What's the worst thing that could happen? What if you simply unlocked the best version of yourself? What would it feel like 1 year from now? What would your life be like? Right? What are the things that you are now able to do that you weren't able to do before? What's that feeling going to be like when you look 1 year in the past and you say, wow, I can't believe that was me? Because I've been there. That's an incredible feeling. I want that for you too. I know this stuff is hard, okay? And I know that when you're stuck, that's the last thing you want to do is change. But I'm telling you, do something that makes you feel alive. Visualize doing something, one step that's a little scary right now, and then do it just to prove to yourself that you can do it. And number 3, visualize what would happen if you do not take action. Feel it, experience it, write it down. Really take in that pain, harvest that pain, and then visualize what it would be like if you did take that step. You got to understand another thing. When you get unstuck, it's not about doing a ton of things today. It's really just about doing one little thing every single day. Small step with consistency. Just taking that small step feels just as good as taking a large step. So just take a small step. It doesn't have to be that hard. So, 3 strategies. Do something that makes you feel alive. Visualize yourself doing something that's currently scary. And visualize what would happen if you continue this way, and visualize what would happen when you do change. I'm Dr. Karthik Ramanan. I believe in your greatness. I really do. I'm here for you. I know that you have so much more potential in you than you give yourself. I walk around talking to people, patients, clients, friends, family. I don't see people for who they were or for who they are. I see people for who they can be. And I see so much where people just don't give themselves credit. So much potential because they feel stuck. And I want you to feel unstuck. So I invite you to be a little less self-critical today. Thank you. I believe in your greatness. I will see you next time. If you like this, hit the like button. If you loved it, hit subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.